It's my privilege today as a representative of Port Adelaide Footy Club and the AFL Players Association and the wider player group to donate this cheque to Dr. Tim Hughes in the work he's doing in the fight against leukaemia. So basically this is Climb for a Cure, where they're going to go and climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I think there's a crew of about 25 people who are paying their own way to get over there and then raising money along the way, which is going to go to hopefully finishing off the battle against this disease. So yeah, it really is a privilege to be standing here today.
So thank you very much, Tom, and to the Port Adelaide players for this fantastic gift. It's by far our biggest donation so far, and it's going to take us a long way towards climbing Kilimanjaro and a long way towards moving towards a cure for this leukaemia, which was a fatal disease 25 years ago. We make really good progress with it today, but we need to go a bit further to get to the cure, so that's what it's all about.
How many have you got doing the climb?
25, and it's a mix of patients, researchers like myself, doctors like myself, other people that support the cure, so it's a real mixed group from right around the world.
When are you doing it?
October 26th we start. So I've got a bit of time to train.
Preparation. How do you prepare for something like that?
Well, we're doing a lot of walks singly, and it's just in small groups, and mainly focusing on the steeper climbs around here, but they're not quite Kilimanjaro, but it's a good start.
Have you got any tips off the players?
I'd like to get some, that'd be fantastic.
All good?
All right, we'll let you put the cheque down and then...
No, don't say it.
Yeah. Beautiful. You guys
just want to straighten up in front of that sign. Sorry, just a little bit. That's it. Thanks.
Cool. Well, physically, how are you feeling after yesterday?
Yeah, feeling good. Obviously, always a touch exhausted after any game, but given the heat, I thought we dealt with it well. We had a lot of rotations, capped quarters in the last half and longer breaks, so I don't think it'll make a difference going into this week and going into round one.
Do you think you have to change your preparation at all heading into this week?
I'm not too sure. We'll leave that to the sports science staff. They obviously put a lot of time and effort into it, and we sort of take what they say as gospel, so I'm sure they'll have it all sorted out for us.
So any updates on Paddy?
Yeah, I spoke to Paddy after the game in the medicos, and they seemed pretty upbeat. He was in pretty good spirits. So he'll probably have a light couple of days, take it from there. Obviously, he's a very important player for us, so we're not going to risk him, but I think that there's not much to worry about.
So is it in terms of, does he have to have a scan or anything next to those?
I couldn't tell you, but he walked off the oval, no worries, and like I said, he's in good spirits, so that's a pretty good start.
Mate, we heard the 666 for all, how good it is for the mids and the forwards. Yesterday it seemed like you guys not exposed, but it's tough with the +1s and everything now. As a defender, what's it like? Is it work to do?
It's definitely going to take a little bit of adjustment. I think as a back 7 or 8 yesterday, we probably weren't quite on top of our game. Probably give credit to the Adelaide forwards, moving pretty well. So obviously there's going to be a bigger focus on winning centre bounce, and we saw that yesterday with the amount of centre bounce goals, and also just structuring up a little bit differently so we can come off and support each other when that ball comes in.
A tough day against Eddie as well, and next time, what do you do differently?
We've played a fair bit of footy against Eddie now, and he always seems to show up against us, so it's just one of those things. You know how much of a quality player he is and the tricks in his bag, and you're just going to do your best to mitigate him, whether it's mixing up the matchups, trying to get some more assistance around him. But the best antidote is really to not have as much ball going in there.
Did you see plenty of good signs yesterday, Tommy? Obviously would have liked to have won the game, but from where you could see it from, say, backline, looking up the ground, the way you moved the ball, did you take positives from it? Yeah,
absolutely. We've went into pre-season with an increased focus on our ball movement and being able to score more, and I think we scored 90 odd points from 40 entries, which obviously that's not as many entries as we'd like, but given the amount of scoring, that was quite a positive. Moving the ball through half back and getting into blokes like Brad Eber's hands, Motlop's hands. Obviously Robbie Gray does what he does best, and then there's a few of the young boys were very exciting as well.
What do you think of Butters, and what impression has he made in the 3 or 4 months at the club?
Yeah, Butters, Rose, X, they've all got plenty of potential. Obviously, we don't want to heap expectation on those boys because being an 18-year-old coming into an AFL system, there's going to be ups and downs, but those boys put their best foot forward every day. They give everything they've got and they play exciting footy, which is what we love about them.
Physically, do you think they're capable of playing round one?
Yeah, I definitely think they're capable of playing it. It's whether they can get through 22 games. So, like I said, there might come a time where they need to be managed, and they'll have their highs and lows. It'll catch up with them. It catches up with all of us. But so far, the signs are good.
With about a quarter of the team yesterday was new, either recruit
parents or draftees. How important is it to get that time to combine and gel and get that chemistry working?
Yeah, very important. That's why we started the process 4 months ago off field. So we've obviously spent a lot of time on the connection piece. And yesterday was the first real test of that on field. And when the real pressure comes on, it was hot conditions, like you said, lots of new faces and playing a pretty formidable opponent. So that's when we're going to see if it's really going to stand up. And I think the way we fought back in the last quarter and gave ourselves a chance to win the game was a real positive.
Tommy shared a little chat with Slaney just after the toss. Can you give us a little insight what that was about?
Yeah, it was more just around the heat and the conditions and making sure it was safe for players. And obviously there was no issue there with the little changes that the AFL and the coaches made. So
was that enough? There's talk through the week that the game shouldn't have happened, but you guys are happy?
Yeah, I'm definitely happy to get out there. We train that 4 or 5 weeks of the year. We have the stock end Adelaide heat waves where it's 40 degrees on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we're doing 12, 13k sessions, so it's fine. There's plenty of drinks on hand, plenty of rotations, and like I said, it's just good to get one under the belt. I think it could have been 20 degrees yesterday and we would have been hurting.